The moon hung high in the sky, casting an eerie, silvery glow over the dense forest that surrounded me. My breath came out in ragged gasps, the cold air stinging my cheeks as my feet pounded against the earth. Each step was laden with the weight of fear, the shadows twisting grotesquely between the trees, stalking me with every move. The night was alive, whispering secrets only it knew, and I felt the chill of unseen eyes watching me through the darkened canopy. Somewhere behind me, a branch snapped, the sound reverberating through the silence, urging me to run faster. But my legs were burning, my lungs were on fire, and a terrifying thought clawed at my mind. What if I never made it out of this forest? A loud crack suddenly shattered the stillness like a gunshot. I jolted upright, my heart hammering wildly in my chest, the echo pulsing through my veins. My eyes darted around, scanning the shifting shadows for the source of the noise. Sweat trickled down my face, a cold reminder of my fear. The silence returned, oppressive and eerie, like the calm before another storm. Doubts gnawed at the edges of my rationality, and I couldn't shake the feeling that something more sinister lurked just beyond my vision. Pushing through the last line of trees, I stumbled into a small clearing. The branches snagged at my sleeves, reluctant to let me go. The moonlight danced across the stone floor, highlighting a series of strange symbols etched into the surface. I knelt, my exhaustion momentarily forgotten, and traced the runes with trembling fingers. The stone felt cold and ancient beneath my touch, sending an involuntary shiver down my spine. What were these symbols trying to tell me? I felt as though I stood on the edge of understanding something monumental, yet terrifyingly unknown. As I studied the runes, I felt a strange energy begin to pulse beneath my fingertips. The air around me shifted, as if holding its breath. A chill wind howled through the trees, and I glanced up nervously, wondering if I was truly alone. Had I just awakened something? A feeling of dread settled over me, mingling with the taste of fear, sharp and metallic in the back of my throat. What ancient power had I stirred, and was I prepared to face its consequences? The town seemed to hold its own unease as strange phenomena began to ripple through it. Lights flickered erratically in nearby homes, casting enigmatic shadows that danced along the walls. Phones buzzed with static, the harsh crackle echoing like an otherworldly whisper. Residents exchanged uneasy glances, reflecting an unspoken fear. Somewhere, a dog barked frantically, its cries muffled by the oppressive tension that hung in the air like a sour veil. My thoughts raced back to the runes, their cryptic symbols gnawing at my mind. Had we disturbed something that should have remained? Under the moon's glow, a spectral figure drifted along the town's outskirts, leaving cryptic patterns in the soil that shimmered and shifted. I watched, frozen, as the message formed in curling shapes, my heartbeat uneven and sinking with the flickering moonlight. What was this entity trying to tell me? How could something so otherworldly leave a mark so tangible, so real? Was I the intended recipient of this cryptic communication, or merely a bystander in a larger unfolding mystery? My neighbor rushed to me, eyes wide with fear, breath coming in rapid gasps. There was something moving in the soil, something unnatural. They whispered, their voice trembling like leaves in the wind. A strange coldness seeped into my bones despite the warm afternoon sun. As I followed them back to the yard, each step took me closer to an unseen brink. The eerie quiet hung heavy, the ground beneath my feet pulsing faintly with a hidden life. In the woods, I found similar runic markings carved into a nearby tree. Tracing them with cautious fingers, I sensed a chill creeping from my fingertips to the nape of my neck. These were the same symbols from the clearing, but what bound them? Shadows moved independently from the sun, stretching as if alive. The realization needled at my mind, a puzzle where the pieces refused to fit. Were they messages, warnings, or perhaps a map? In the attic, dust danced as I flipped through the pages of an old diary, revealing long-hidden secrets. The musty smell of old paper mingled with the weight of untold stories. The last sighting of the horror was decades ago. I read, each word heavy with the gravity of history. But why would it return now? I pondered, could it be linked to the town's secret untold, lurking beneath the everyday veneer? The dread twisted within me, daring me to unravel the enigma before it was too late. The local elder's eyes pierced into mine, a chilling knowledge crackling in the air between us. Once engaged, the rune's forces are irreparable. They warned, their voice a low growl that resonated through the stillness. I clenched my fists, desperation cracking my voice as I pleaded. Then tell me how to fix this. The burden felt heavier than I ever imagined, the fate of so many hinging on my every decision. Lights flickered and static infected phones across the town. Worried townsfolk gathered, casting wary glances toward the forest. I watched them, my resolve hardening alongside the rising tension. This was the calm before the storm, the air crackling with impending confrontation. Was I ready to face whatever lurked beyond the trees? Or was it only a matter of time before everything crashed down around us? Turning to star charts, I aligned each rune to an event date. The full moon amplifies their power, I muttered, the words barely above a whisper. Jamie stressed. We need to act before it rises again. Her eyes fixed on mine with an intensity that seemed to solidify the air between us. All cards were on the table, but the stakes were unfathomable. What if I misinterpreted the signs, guiding us into an abyss? Jamie discovered the creature could be warded with silver. The cool metal glinted in the dim light as he proposed. This might just keep it at bay. His voice trembled slightly, betraying the calm determination he tried to maintain. It was a gamble, fragile like our hope. What if it failed? Could I bear watching my closest friend get hurt because of my decision? Back home, shadows twisted violently, inching closer as whispers turned harsh and furniture rattled. I clutched my chest, feeling the weight of the unknown pressing down. I have to end this, once and for all, I decided, a tingling resolve overcoming fear. Every instinct screamed to run, but I knew that if I did, these shadows would swallow everything I loved. Jamie retrieved ancient symbols from the museum, his footsteps echoing through the silent halls. With each artifact concealed in his bag, a bead of sweat trickled down his forehead. The thrill of discovery clashed with the fear of capture. Would these symbols finally tip the scales in our favor, or was the risk too great? Understanding dawned on me. The creature haunted me due to my thirst for forbidden secrets. This mistake would not define me. Knowledge must give way to wisdom, not drag me under. As I wrestled with the seductive allure of uncovering hidden truths, the weight of previous mistakes sat heavily on my shoulders. Could I let some secrets dissolve into the past? Preparing for the full moon ritual, I meticulously checked each item. The mirrored dagger, wards inscribed with symbols. My heart thumped with anticipation, each beat syncing with the clock's incessant ticking. Every choice led to this precipice. Doubt gnawed at the edges of my resolve. What if I wasn't strong enough? But retreat wasn't an option. The lives entwined with mine demanded courage. Under the cruel moonbeam, the runes glowed and shadows writhed. My fingers trembled as I traced the symbols with meticulous care. I tittered through intricate words, my voice regaining steadiness. The first hint of an unnatural dawn crested the horizon, blood red against the sky. Was this enough? I wondered, feeling the enormity of the moment pressed down. Could mere human will command such energies? Jamie enhanced the ward with museum artifacts, his fingers trembling as he wove the symbols in. Stay strong, we're almost there, he called out, his voice a firm anchor. If we failed, the consequences would ripple beyond this room. Everything depended on the precision of our actions. Spectral screams escalated as shadows formed into outlines. I held the ward aloft, my knees threatening to buckle under fear. I can't let it break through, I whispered, the ward glowing faintly in my grasp. The weight of responsibility suffocated me, but resolve burned within. It wasn't just my life at stake, it was all of ours. With combined strength, we crashed into the intangible fury. The heat of the silver ward seared my hand, a reminder of the stakes. We're reclaiming our world, I cried, desperation and defiance in my eyes. A silent pact formed between us as we glimpsed Maya's determined gaze. Was this the line between fear and courage? As the portal began to close, the timbre of sacrifice echoed, slicing into the void. The veil will seal, and so will our bond. Did our sacrifice mark a mere flicker against the dark, or was it a new beginning? The radiant glow once held secrets of unfathomable depth. Now, as it ebbed, I wondered if we could live with the echoes of what was left behind. Incidents ceased, and townsfolk sensed relief. Neighbors shook hands, holding relief like shared breath. Children's laughter filled the streets, tentative like a bird testing its wings. As I strolled through the town square, I wondered, was this stillness real or merely the calm before another storm? Could peace learn to call our streets home for good? But at home, a glowing rune caught my eye, the final sting. I traced its outline, feeling the faint hum of energy beneath my skin. Could this be the beginning of something much darker? I pondered. The battle seemed done, yet the fight might rumble on. Were past victories merely preludes to something worse? I questioned if I was ready to face what lurked beyond this discovery. In her diary, Jamie wrote about a lingering fascination. The horrors may linger in twilight dances. Here's where I begin. The edge of wonder and peril was undeniable. Was this path leading to a winding maze or a darker abyss? As I pondered the magnetic allure of the unknown, I couldn't help but wonder if this was my dream or a thrilling nightmare yet to be explored.